It's time to go beyond the headlines, cause I don't put in overtime just so I can headline. Okay, now it's Fox Sports, I'm live with Renee. Going hard every day, sports rapping every play. Different segments for your favorites, coming at you daily. With positive vibes, yeah, we some game changers. Basketball, football, soccer, with different interviews, you never know who may pop up. Listen, only on Beyond the Headlines, this is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines, this is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines, this is Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Beyond the Headlines. I'm your host, Renee Washington, and this show is brought to you by Fox Sports Radio and Authentic TV on Roku, and I am excited for another great episode. I told you guys as we got started into 2022 that we were hitting the ground running, that we had some exciting interviews coming your way. We had a great guest on last week in Jamal Walker, rock writer, who was talking about his music and book writing and clothes and shoes line and fashion line that he's got going on. Well, today we've got another talented guest that is wearing many hats, killing the game, and out here doing incredible things. And you have seen him in a variety of roles, because if you watch TV, there are many, many opportunities to have seen him. Movies, television, Super Bowl, halftime show. And that is Khalil Lamar, who will be joining us for this week's episode. So I'm excited to get into it because we've got a great story, some great successes, and a great journey that you're going to get to learn about in Khalil Lamar, who's joining us from the second greatest place in the country, Orlando, second to New Jersey, of course, and we'll get into that too. But we are having some positive vibes only as we're talking through the great journey of Khalil Lamar in this episode.
What's up? It's Microphone Rocky, and with everything going on right now, we can all use a lot more positivity in our lives. Thankfully, we got Renee Washington here with positive vibes only.
Detroit native, actor, stuntman, dancer, doing it all from, again, the second greatest place in Orlando. Welcome. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Look, y'all, I just got to give a shout out to us in Jersey where we saw our snow and our margaritas, or the ground and the margaritas, because Khalil had this smooth line about, go ahead, I'm going to let you tell it.
Out here in Orlando, Florida, we salt margaritas and not the ground. So y'all can keep the snow. I'll watch it on TV.
Wow, shade. It's cool. You know what? Well, at least we get all the seasons. We get a little bit of everything. We get some snow. We get our actual summer. We get everything, a fall, a spring. So that's my go-to one-up.
There you go.
So how's 2022 been treating you so far? I know you are a very busy person. You have a lot going on that you are doing. So between all the different shoots and shows and productions that you have going on, how's the new year been treating you so far?
The new year has been pretty awesome. I've been working on this project out in Colombia. It's an Apple TV series. So I get to go back out there pretty soon. We've been going to Hirado. Now we're going to go to Cartagena for a little bit. So I'm experiencing a place I've never been before, as well as working and getting paid to be there. So it's been pretty awesome. Just recently, yesterday, I had a TV series called Naomi that premiered on the CW channel. I get to double the awesome actor Cranston Johnson on that show. So if you get a chance, check that out. And yeah, it's been so far so good, cranking off the new year.
Yes, coming in, dropping a lot of heat already, and we are just a few minutes in. And you talk about you're getting paid to shoot. You're getting paid to travel, I should say, more importantly, too, of just being able to see different cultures and countries and parts of the world as you are shooting Longboard right now that will be premiering later on in 2022. I know that I'm jumping the gun. We're going backwards here and talking about what you've got going on next. But since you brought it up first, we'll continue on that train. Talk to us about the international shoots, the scheduling of starting in November, hopefully, as you mentioned before, maybe done in March, and just shooting a movie that's not being done in just one country, but has you flying all over.
It's been an experience. I've never been to Colombia. So when I was able to go last year in November, it was definitely a different experience on that side. We've experienced the, I was to say, we've seen the bougie side and we've seen the less bougie side over there. It humbled me even more just being there, but also meeting some of the great people and working with the stunt teams over there and just meeting everyone. It was an overall great experience because not only was I there for work, but I was also there with a lot of friends that I also work with in the States. So it kind of balanced itself out. And I'm really excited about going back there. As far as the work schedule, we worked every single day from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. And we would get back to our hotels at about 6:37 a.m. only to sleep, wake up, eat, work out, head back to set. So it was definitely lots of work, very little play.
Why 5 p.m. to 5 a.m.? Is this?
It was whatever the scene was. It was a night scene, so
And the whole movie, the whole scene.
Well, it was just this particular part of the film. It was, that
Lucky
time.
you to be a part of the night scene that gets to shoot overnight, to have an opposite schedule from everybody else. Literally,
it was like a bittersweet, type of thing.
Yeah, that I can definitely see. I mean, that's again, that's part of the grind and part of the the excitement of any role, any opportunity is that although we may have wanted the hours to fit perfectly in our schedule where you have time to get up and eat breakfast and go work out and then go and maybe even meditate before you go. Nope, this is the opposite, that this is the sacrifice of doing what you love and being flexible in that.
Yes.
5 p.m. to 5 a.m., sign me up. I'm there.
Exactly.
Can you tell us a little bit about longboard, whatever you can share?
Well, the only thing I can say about it is it's a military film. I can't dig too much into it because, like I said, it's fairly new to me. But it's going to be it's an Apple TV series, so and it's mainly in Spanish. So it's different for me because this will be my first time working on a majority like Spanish film. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Military.
Yes. And the fact that you are able to cross over and work in these different areas, again, working in Colombia, working on a Spanish set, I'm sure it's an entirely different experience. And as you mentioned, even just being able to have that balance of friends with you that but also still experiencing something new. That's special. That's incredible.
Yeah. I'm extremely grateful. And, the guys that hired me, I worked with them so many times on other shows. And I'm just grateful that they enjoy me being there, a part of their project.
Gotta love the doors that open through your talents. And you are very talented. For those that are tuning in, I want to give you a sneak peek into all that is Khalil Lamar, that I shouldn't say all, many of the bright moments of your career so far, and just be able to share with you some major, major moments that you've had. So take a look at our guest in action. I've watched this a few times and I was like, I love this and I wish I had the courage to be able to be a stunt person and be flipping around and jumping and crashing the wall? What led you? Let's backtrack before we start getting into all the excitement of working with greats, celebrities and actors and TV personalities that you've been fortunate to work with. Take us back to how this all started, because it seems as though all these different areas have helped you continue to grow. You're a dancer, you're a stuntman, you're an actor, and through each of these talents and many more, of course, you're able to have these opportunities. What inspired you to actually even get into all of this?
It's crazy because I was dating someone back when I lived in Detroit, and I was still trying to find myself. And she had moved out to Florida for a live show that had like African dance, stunts, singing, stilts, everything, costumes. And so she was like, "Hey, why don't you come out and audition for this show?" And I was like, "Yeah, So I went to audition, and I ended up booking a role, and they ended up getting me a live show. So they started me out with the stunts and the singing and the dancing. And I was like, wow, we're getting paid to do the stuff that I somewhat like doing. Because like I said, I was still lost till I was about 26, 27 years old. And when I got there, I met a lot of other people that had been in the industry already. So I started going to auditions for more movies and TV shows. And I ended up booking my first film, which was Stump DR2. Then it went to commercials. And then from there, I went on tour with Marvel Universe Live, got even more into stunts. And that's what really got me into film, because my first stunt movie was Black Panther movie. And I'm like, what awesome way to start out,
Okay.
a year, than to be on a Marvel film, So that's where it all started out. I was lost till I was about 26, 27. I'm 40 years old now. And everything just fell into place. I was around the right people, kept my mind focused, stayed grounded, and just hit it running.
Wow. Okay. So there's a lot there that I want to get into. One is when people talk about this, the whole saying of everybody's in your life for a reason. Some are just in your life for a season. And that relationship, which I'm assuming is no more, since you're now, that relationship, one of the major doors it opened was to get you into your career. As you talk about being 26, 27, which for many people, they think that's too late. I've already missed my calling. I don't know what I'm doing. And as you mentioned, you were still in that same situation of trying to figure out what's next. But in that season, it was that relationship that opened up an opportunity that allowed you to realize this is what I enjoy doing, and this is what I'm going to continue doing. And what a way to start than, I don't know, Black Panther.
Right. Exactly. Like I said, and still to this day, I'm still learning. I'm still, finding myself even more. So like, I'm never satisfied. I'm always open to criticism and always willing to learn and looking up to some of the greats that are out there, so it's an amazing journey.
Well, let's talk about those greats, because as we saw in the video clip from your reel, you have worked with some greats, and you talk about Black Panther, but I want to be very specific in letting people know you were Black Panther, the stunt double for Chadwick Boseman.
So in Avengers,
how's that work?
In Avengers Endgame, I was one of the additional Black Panther stunt doubles next to the amazing Aaron Toney, who was the main Black Panther stunt double. And the way that came about, it was crazy. It was 2 weeks before my birthday, and that position was offered to me. So it was like a huge wow moment, because I was already in the film. I was doing other roles as well. And for that to come, for 2 weeks before my birthday, it was like, wow. But working with Chadwick Boseman, he's an awesome guy, great spirit. I had the opportunity to meet him and his wife, when we worked out in Thailand on the Five Bloods. So it was just awesome. I got to know him a little more versus when we were here in the States working on the Avengers movies and stuff like that. But yeah, may he rest in peace. He's a legend. I look up to him always. And he put on some phenomenal films that we still love to this day.
And I have to imagine that being around him in person, I mean, I saw you interacting with him, and obviously you could even just see there, like, everything that I've always seen about him has been so genuine. Just working with someone like himself, who's a different level of talent. I mean, to find out after he passed, all that he was dealing with on set. You were there on set. What did you see, if anything, that stood out to you about him?
Well, his character, he stays in character the entire time, and he not only does he stay in character, he still has time to speak to everyone. Like even when we were filming all the Avengers movie, the Marvel movies, he would come and speak to everyone, shake their hand, this and the other, and then he'll be focused. And then when we were in Thailand, I got to know him a little more, where he was playing, I think it's called the ukulele, and he was singing, and then his wife was playing. And, it was just like a different side that I didn't really get to see that much. But like I said, he gave me some great advice as far as keeping focused and just going for what I want, and I keep that with me deep in my heart every time I go to a project or I'm auditioning for something. But he was diagnosed in 2016 and no one knew. He didn't need any extra breaks. He didn't seem like, to me, he didn't seem like he was tired or anything. He put on an amazing performance all the way through all 2016. It's 2022 now. Like so many great films. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, The Fly, Bloods, Black Panther, Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame. He did all these films while he was dealing with the illness. So that right there is like, I don't care how I'm feeling. I'm going to still get up and do what I need to do to get done. Because this guy was able to do that through all that pain.
I mean, and that's the thing that jumped out at me afterwards. Once he passed and you started to put together the timeline of all that he was doing while he was battling cancer is insane.
Yeah.
When you think about, as you mentioned, you were on set with him. You got to see it. We on the outside just saw the movie. We just saw, the behind the scenes clips that we were able to see. But you actually were working with him closely, and someone that, as you say, you regard as a friend. And just to see the way that he still carried himself like everybody else, that's, as you mentioned, is motivating and just a lot of emotions at once, I'm sure.
Yeah, like he didn't show any signs because, as an actor, they gain and lose weight for roles in movies. So we didn't think anything of it. I'm thinking maybe he just finished a film that he had to be, a certain way for, or he's getting ready for a film, So like I said, he didn't show any sign of illness, and it's like, wow, he kept that away from everyone because he wanted to go out with a bang, and that's what he did. Because I think about, like, if he said something about it, he might not have gotten those roles because they may have thought that they were taking a risk. So he kept it quiet, he dealt with it, and went out with a bang.
That's a good point. He didn't want to be seen differently.
Correct.
And I'm sure, that may have been something that had people a little weary about casting him. And for everybody that is tuning in, we are talking with our great guest, Khalil about his work as an actor, a stuntman, a dancer. Bring the questions into the chats. Bring any comments. We can definitely add them in, and any questions you may have for him. So this is an open conversation between the two of us and everybody else. So, yes, us two plus everybody else. So as you talk through just those experiences of being able to be on set, your first set is a major role. What was the experience like for you coming in and just getting started, trying to figure out your way, trying to juggle all these different changes and all this new with the Black Panther set of all.
I still remember to this day, my first day on the set of Black Panther, I was quiet the majority of the time because I was still like just taking all of this in. I didn't really know anyone on that set at the time. And it was just amazing to see so many of us on set. It's a Marvel movie. It's Black Panther. This is my first major film. Like it was crazy and saying like, it was like a huge ball of fire that was waiting to bust out of me every day that I was there for rehearsals and everything. And the first few people to walk up to me, I remember to this day, was Janisha Adams and Eric. I forget his last, Eric Watson, I believe his last name was. They came up to me and was like, "Hey, come over here. Why are you so quiet?" Just to open me up. And that made me feel even more comfortable and relaxed while I was on set because they opened their arms to me and, I feel like they could tell that I was like new, to the scene. So it kind of helped out and everyone was great. Didn't see any egos on set. Like it was just a great experience overall.
Wow. What was the timeline? You talk about, your girlfriend at the time, your ex-girlfriend who helped you get into acting and films into Black Panther. What was the timeline from 26, 27 to that role? Just to give
So I left Detroit in 2008. That's where I'm from, Detroit, Michigan. I left there in 2008. My first movie was a dance movie, Stomp the Yard 2. I got into that movie 2009.
Oh, that's great. Yes.
So I got into that movie in 2009. And then I landed a commercial that same year, Party City. And then the following year, I believe I got into Step Up Revolution. And that was 2010. So then I took a little break because I had a minor injury in 2010. I jumped back into live shows 2012, went on tour 2014 to 15. And then 2016, I started rehearsals for Panther.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy
that's
journey.
less than 10 years.
Yes.
That it took you from getting into it to landing Black Panther as a role that's a major role in that. And when you talk about the journey, I'm sure looking back probably has to be so surreal now, years later, of just all that you worked through to get to where you are today. So we do actually have a question that just came in, and anybody else has a question, definitely drop them in the chat. What advice would you give someone trying to break into the stunt and acting field? Dejuan Pickett, that's a great question. What advice would you give?
What's up, Dejuan? Yeah, so I would say what I still do to this day, there are online acting workshops, or you can also stop into your local city's acting studios to take courses and classes, things of that nature as far as acting. With stunts, out here, I know we have gymnastic locations that have open gym, and there are lots of stunt guys that go there, trickers, even the trainers there, they're open to teaching you certain tricks or on flips or whatever, correct form. There are also stunt studios that have classes on how to fall, how to kick, how to punch, how to react. It's and then there's social media. Social media is free. I know there's been a pandemic and lots of setbacks going on. So social media, YouTube will save lives, basically. So yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, I'm still learning to this day, so online seminars, workshops, studios, social media, those will save you.
Yeah, that's a great point of just the resources that are right at your fingertips, where it doesn't require having to relocate. I think I know there used to be a time where it was like, if you want to get into acting, you've got to either go to New York or LA, and you've got to go just drop everything and go to one of those cities and hope that you catch a director while you're being a waitress or something.
Exactly.
Whereas now, as you mentioned, there are so many resources, and social media alone allows for you to open so many doors and create reels and create different types of content to get your name out there. So that's a great point. But you also were saying, go ahead, I'll let you go first.
I was going to say, not only that, headshots and resumes, definitely get your headshots. There's a difference between an actor headshot and a stunt headshot. Like an actor headshot is basically just like here, whereas there's a stunt headshot is like 3/4 so they can see your physique as well as your face. So just another difference between the two.
Oh, yeah. I would not have known that. Okay. That makes sense, because for anybody that's a stuntman, do they call them stunt women too? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Better be. Because they need to make sure that you look like the person that you are going to be the stunt double for.
Definitely.
Wow. So tell us, in all these different areas that you're working in, between acting, being a stuntman, and dancing, what are the biggest differences for each that you have to prepare for, whether it's mentally or physically, for each of those different types of roles?
So let me see. How can I explain it? I feel like they all kind of work together, because as a dancer, you show that you are familiar with your body movement. You have control, which also plays a part in doing stunts, so that you won't injure anyone or yourself. You still have control. So it's like stunts and dancing, I feel like they're both dance, because you're doing movement and controlling your body when it hits the ground so that you don't injure yourself. With acting, you're acting as well, because if I'm a villain, I'm acting as a villain. If I'm hired as a villain, I'm acting as a villain. If I'm scared, I'm acting scared and running. So they all kind of play their relatives, basically. I don't see much of a difference with it, but yeah, I feel like they all kind of work together.
Okay, that makes sense. Actually, they each help the other, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So for being a stuntman, I have always wondered, the process. So everything is timing. Like,
Correct.
are you actually getting hit ever, or are you just kind of like timing to kind of move? Like, take us through a Stuntman 101 discussion, because I'm so curious.
Yeah, so with stunts, basically, yeah, we're reacting. Some of the body hits, like if we're doing like a body blow, we'll tap, but it's real quick. You know, it's like that. You know, because we have control. That's where that control plays a part. But yeah, a lot of the times we're just little taps. When you get thrown to the ground, you're actually hitting the ground, but you have to make sure you land a certain way. You know, things of that nature. But as far as the face shots, we're turning. And it's based off of the camera angle. You know what I mean? If the camera's in a certain spot, it's going to look like we got wrecked. You know what I mean? But if it's in that wrong spot, you're going to see that complete miss. You know what I mean? So it's all about the camera angles as well as the reaction to the punch. Because if a punch is coming and I'm reacting before the punch and then it goes, you're going to be like, that didn't, it's not believable. You know what I mean? So it's all about, everybody has to work together with that. And it plays a part.
Okay, so angles, just like on social media, are obviously very important for any stunt work too, of making it look like the hit, the kick, whatever may have happened. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So for your experiences in different roles, I mean, the list goes on and on of just the opportunities that you've been able to have, the different sets you've been on. I saw Suicide Squad, Harder They Fall, Black Lightning, The Underground Railroad. Obviously, we talked about Black Panther, The Avengers, The Five Bloods. For you specifically, with these types of roles, just what was maybe the most exciting moment, or that like aha moment of this is actually happening? Did you have, I'm sure there have been many, but one that jumps out at you that was just a reminder of the guy that started at 26, 27 in Detroit would never believe that he'd be here now, but here I am.
I still to this day, I say my first day on set of Black Panther, like I'm still at awe from that, because I can still see it as if it just happened yesterday. You know what I mean? Because I'm walking around, I'm looking like I'm really here. Because before, when I got hired, I still didn't believe it. You know, I've been through a lot in life where it'd be like, hey, you're going to do this. And then it'd be like, oh, it's not going to happen. So even after I got hired, even after I signed the contracts and all that stuff, I didn't believe it until I walked on that set. So when I walked on that set, I still had all that excitement built up that I didn't release when they hired me. And it was just like, wow. And then I'm working with legends. You know, Angela Bassett was in there. You know, like Chadwick Boseman, like so many great actors and actresses are in that film, on top of it being Marvel and Black Panther and just amazing, you know. So yeah, that's my all-time favorite still to this day.
Angela Bassett is everybody's mom, auntie, yes. The cool one, of course, because she does not age.
She's a superhero herself.
Please tell me you had a conversation with Angela Bassett, because I'm fangirling right now because she is a queen.
I was so hurt. I did not get to see her while I was working there. I did not see her one time because the scenes were she weren't, you know, there. So yeah, I didn't get to see her yet, but I know it's coming. It's coming.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you were at least you were in the same area that she was in. You walked the same steps she did. So
yeah, I think I got the air that she breathed out.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. You probably breathed her air, which is better than some of us have done. And then I know that you even have been working recently on some Netflix specials. So working with Jamie Foxx on They Clone Tyrone, working with Cat Williams, a great comedian, you know, now also being on the Netflix screen, which for a lot of films and shows, you're seeing more and more of them dropping on Netflix versus the traditional movie theater. So even being able to tap into that lane, is there anything different about those versus, you know, a TV series or a movie that's going to be dropping in theaters?
I'm still kind of learning the difference between it dropping Netflix first versus TV and film. I don't have much knowledge with that. I hear the residuals are different, you know, when it comes to that. But either way, I love being in them. You know, I'm still learning, but I love being in them. So I mean, that's something I need to dig more into so I can, you know, build in my knowledge for it. But yeah, it's gonna be great.
It is definitely a change of just like seeing how shows and movies have been now dropping on Netflix first, or like whole shows will drop their entire season on Netflix instead of having to wait. Like I loved Underground Railroad. Was heartbroken when they did not bring it back because I'm still waiting for answers, but it's cool. I think it's CW. I'm still waiting for answers, as we all are. It's fine. I'm not bitter or anything, but you know, those are the shows that you used to have to wait week after week after week, whereas now you can just hop on Netflix and watch the special all the way through. So definitely different, I'm sure.
I enjoy that. Did you get a chance to watch The Harder They Fall?
I have not watched it yet, and I'm embarrassed to say, but I will. I've got a list. Of course, I've heard nothing but great things about it, though. And that takes me to my next question. Do you have a favorite? You know, you've had all these great sets that you've been on, and I feel like I may know the answer to this, but do they have a number one and number two? Because I feel like I may know what number one is. Favorite role.
So my number one as of now is Sacrifice on BET.
Really? I thought you were gonna say Black Panther.
That too, but Sacrifice because I got to do an awesome scene with Paula Patton. You know, that's my number one.
Okay.
To this day, yes.
Okay.
She's a great actress, and she is great. It was an awesome scene, and yeah, that's her number one. And number two. No, I'm joking.
That was number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
Paula Patton seems really cool in person as well.
Definitely. She
plays some roles though that have you annoyed, but I feel like she's probably not that annoying in person.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that one yet. But yeah, she's an awesome person. She makes everyone feel important who's involved with the scene. That's what I really love. Like every single person, she makes sure that they are, you know, seen or feeling good about the scene, and she listens, and she's just amazing. Great to work with.
I'm sure. Well, I have to ask you this because you are a father of 3. And I can only imagine if my dad or mom were working in the different roles that you are. And I got to give a shout out to your
baby.
But do your kids have any favorites or any specific like exciting moments of maybe it was a Paul Patton or someone that you've worked with that they're kind of like, my dad is so cool because he worked with this person. Is there a specific?
Their main thing they mention all the time is my dad is Black Panther. Ever since they saw the suit, saw the photos and everything, they mentioned, you know, that's their number one. You know, they love action film. You know, my son is in taekwondo and soccer. My youngest daughter is a top level gymnast. He's an acro. You know, she's doing all these things. My oldest is a model, but she also likes action films as well. So yeah, they love the action, and I love teaching it to them. So those are my babies.
Aww. So they get to proudly say, "My dad is Black Panther." Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Shout out to your son for playing soccer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Soccer players are different, man. But that I'm sure has to be incredible for you as a father to be able to have your kids be a part of this too, and have your kids be able to experience all these things. You know, as I showed in the picture, they're all different ages. So they're probably all giving you different excitement around just kind of reminding you how special this really is.
Yeah. My 2 youngest, 8 a.m., they wanted me to go outside and flip for them in the front yard. 8 a.m. So I had to do it.
Oh, I love that. Yes, kids will definitely have you doing some things that you don't really want to be doing, like being out early in the morning flipping in the yard. Mm-hmm. So another role, speaking of flipping, another role that you've had is being a part of the Super Bowl, working with The Weeknd. Yes. Here's something I bet you did not know. You actually were working with my cousin, Reggie Oliver, who's one of the dancers that was a part of it. I mean, there were a lot of you guys, and you all had masks on, so I'm sure you don't even know how many people you got to talk to. Yeah. But he was also a part of the halftime performance with The Weeknd. Nice. So I need to ask you, before we talk about the specifics of that experience, are you in this picture?
No, I'm not. So that was a different room. I was the one on the stage with the white choir robes and the face, as well as on the floor. So I went from the stage with the choir robes on to the field after that.
Okay, because honestly, I have no idea who was who in any of the pictures from the halftime show. So I was wondering if maybe you would be able to pick yourself out. But talk to us about that experience. I saw that you prepped, so you trained with The Weeknd for the week leading up to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
That you were able to practice with him. So I'm sure that was also an incredible experience in itself.
It was a great experience because this is, most Super Bowls usually take about the halftime show usually take about 3 months to prepare. We had, I want to say, maybe a week and a half to put this together. 75 of us, our very first either first or second rehearsal was via Zoom. So I'm at home learning choreography from my laptop with all the other dancers. And then we got to go and rehearse with everyone else on the field, after that. So we had a week of rehearsals with everyone else as well as The Weeknd. But it wasn't very long hours. I think we did about 8 to 10 hours a day working with The Weeknd. He's real cool, knows everyone. He spoke to us every once in a while, but I could tell he was like in his zone, making sure everything was right for the halftime show. Charm LaDonna, she choreographed everything, and she's an amazing person. That was my first time working with her. And I could tell her brain was all over the place because I feel like there was maybe 250 dancers for her to coordinate within a week and a half for a halftime show. Super Bowl halftime show, a week and a half of rehearsals with 250 people.
On a very big stage.
Yeah. So, it was just an overall great experience. And once again, with the industry being, it's a huge industry, but the world is so small. So there's a lot of my friends that were in the performance with me. So like I said, I still felt at home. They had to stay in Tampa the entire time. So still had to stay at home. And it felt like I was at home because a lot of my friends were there. You know what I mean? So it was an overall great experience. First time working for the Super Bowl and for The Weeknd, and so it was great. And it was different. I mean, you could see those what we had on. So
performing in the outfits, the masks, and everything, I'm sure was not easy, but it seems like a consistent theme in all of your roles, and just honestly, and for anybody that's interested in pursuing their talents and their dreams, is understanding that there's going to be some discomfort and maybe some adjustments that had to be made, because I'm sure that was probably an adjustment from Zoom practices where I'm assuming you were not in costume to then being in costume very quickly and preparing for the show with all these different things happening the week of. How did this all happen? How did this start? What led to this opportunity?
For me, so I was a young lady, Chelsea, I forget her last name, but she referred me to her mom, which owns an agency out in Tennessee, somewhere in Tennessee. And she called me and said, "Hey, would you like to be a part of the halftime Super Bowl show?" I said, "Of course." And then she's like, "Okay, you're going to be dancing with The Weeknd, but before I confirm, I just need you to send like a video of you dancing, this and the other." And so I sent that video, and she hired me, and that's how I got in. And then from there, it was just a breeze.
Wow. Nothing like being ready when your name is called. I love to see it.
Yeah, I love dancing too. So I rarely get to do it now, but I still got it in my back pocket.
It's one of the many talents that you have that have been opening doors for you. We do have another question from Dejuan about The Harder They Fall. Did you have a chance to speak or work with Idris Elba at all?
No, I didn't get a chance to speak to him. I think when we were filming The Harder They Fall, he had gotten a little ill, so I didn't get to speak to him on set. But I'm pretty sure he's an amazing guy on set as well.
Oh, yeah, he seems like it. And even his ability to switch in and out of his accents and everything, it's impressive. It's very impressive. Yeah. So through all these experiences, as you mentioned, you said you're now 40. So this
40 years old, 40 years blessed.
There you go, 40 years young and blessed. So throughout all these experiences, as you talk about what's next for you, what really have you learned? How has this helped you being a better father, a better person, a better man through all these experiences? What have you really taken away that you would even share with somebody else that you know now that you probably did not know at 26, 27?
Well, I mean, all of like everyone that I'm meeting, there's some source of information that I can get from them. So I try to learn from every single person that I meet something, that way I could have an overload of knowledge in my head so I can teach my kids, because there are a lot of things that I didn't have growing up that I can tell them or teach them and put in their head, so that as they're growing up, they already have that mentality, and hopefully, life will be a breeze for them. Like I said, I love my kids. Everyone knows how I feel about my kids. Like, I just want to spoil them every single day. But instead of me spoil, like I do spoil them, but also teach them, that we have to learn and be able to grow and work for ourselves. I don't want them to work for anybody else. I want them to learn how to work for themselves. I mean, it's really just simple. I mean, I've learned a lot from these sets. I learned that if you want something, you have to be well-grounded and go get it. And that's really it. It's simple. Go get it. The resources are there. We just have to be able to want it. Chadwick Boseman did it, and he was ill. That's my main motivation. He was ill and did not complain. He had to get up for work every single day dealing with that illness. So I learned that pain is only weakness leaving the body, which is weakness leaving your mentality. When you think you're tired, get up. It's mental.
Yes, and you've been in these on sets with people like Chadwick Boseman that have, I'm sure, opened your eyes to just the grind and how much, as you talk about that motivation of being able to work through what you're going through, like everybody has something that they're bringing a set. And as you mentioned, something I heard consistently was just about how the different superstars that you've worked with, the Paula Pattons and Chadwick Boseman and even Angela Bassett, even though you didn't get a chance to meet her, but you breathe the same air, staying in character, being so kind and welcoming to everyone. These are people that, as you said, that the egos definitely could have been there. They could have had this like arrogance to them, but you've been on these different sets with so many different talented people, like yourself, of course, that you've been able to now come right into the fold, be welcomed and included, and be able to just focus on putting together a great production. So even that, I'm sure, has been motivational in understanding, like, in all these different states and countries that you're shooting in, and major performances from the Super Bowl to Black Panther, is just to stay grounded within that.
Stay grounded, always be open to criticism, don't have any egos, always be open to learn. There's so much information out here. Like I said, I'm growing every single day. I'm learning from people. There's so many people that I look up to that don't even know I look up to them. You know what I mean? Like, so I have a long way to go. I know I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna take my family with me. My family consists of friends, kids, my blood. Everybody who's been there for me, who supports me. I'm gonna bring everybody with me. We all gonna make it. There's room for everyone.
Amen. Everyone can eat. Everyone can have a seat at the table and eat. So you talked in the beginning about Longboard, the movie that you're working on right now in Colombia that's going to be premiering sometime in 2022. We're not sure exactly when. What else is next for you in your career? Again, it seems like throughout 2020 and 2021 was a major boost for your career, of just taking that next step. So what's next for you as you get into the new year and looking ahead?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm working on this film for the next couple of months, but I also have another project coming out. I believe it comes out this year. It's called Hans Bubby, and I don't have much information about it. All I know, I feel like it's a prisoner type movie. Hans Bubby. There's an Air Jordan Off-White commercial that I did back in October that released. So that's out of, no one has seen it yet. It's for the new Off-Whites with Miss Taylor Rooks beating on me.
Yes.
So those projects are out. And right now I'm just waiting to hear about, the next few. I have a few things on the line that hadn't been confirmed, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, the video with Taylor Rooks is actually how I came across her page, because that was really cool. That was really cool. Talk about that experience, because that seems like it was even more unique. I mean, everything has its own element to it, and I feel like this was another step out of the box for you.
Yeah, it was great. We filmed it in Malibu, California. How that job came about, a coordinator I work with, Andy Dillon, contacted me. He said, "Are you available for a Nike commercial?" I said, "Of course." And so he said, "Okay, they want to see you in a suit, black suit." So I said, "I got plenty of those photos." I sent that. They liked it. Then they said they wanted to see my Instagram. So I was like, "Okay." I posted a bunch of stuff, kind of so you could see what my Instagram is about. They liked it, and then they booked me and they flew me out to California to work with Taylor Rooks, and from there it was like a breeze. I mean, she was real cool and having fun on set. Got to beat on me, so I'm sure she liked that a lot. But yeah, it was a great time. The best part about it is me holding myself on the back of that flatbed truck, because we were going down the hills and the mountains. Like, you didn't see it in the video, but before it comes around the corner, we're going down, and I'm literally holding on with the hand loop and balancing myself as we're being chased, But
that was real.
Yeah. Yes.
That wasn't an angle. That was a real thing.
No, that was real. We were being chased, going down the hill in the semi truck. And thank God for Tim Bell, who was the truck driver. He's an amazing driver. He kept me safe. He always double checked on me after we came around the corner to make sure I didn't fling off or anything like that. So it was a great experience out there. Worked with some awesome people.
That's always good. That's always good. Was that your most dangerous stunt that you've done?
Actually, let me see. It may have been. I'm not sure, because when I was on tour, I would get flung out into the audience by a wire, as well as doing high falls. So I feel like each stunt has its own type of danger or fear factor or whatever to it. That one was actually fun for me. Like, I like doing crazy stuff anyway. So, I didn't really consider it danger. When they told me I was gonna be on the back, I said, okay, I'm ready. So. But
I feel like as a stunt man, you have to have that level of
craziness.
You know what? You said it. I didn't. I was gonna say boldness and being daring and. Yeah. But yes, that level of like just being fearless with things, because to me, as you're saying that was real, I'm thinking in my head all the things that could go wrong. This is a big semi truck coming down the hills, and I've been in California. I have not been on that. I don't know if I haven't been on that specific street, but just being in Cali and seeing the way that their roads are, I'm thinking that's probably could have gone terribly wrong. But as you're mentioning, it was exciting. It was fun. So
it was exciting.
Double life.
Definitely could have been some bad things to happen, because had the brakes gone out in that truck, I would have literally had to jump off, because we were at Malibu Beach. So the beach and the water and all that stuff was on the side with rocks. And that semi truck, big and heavy. So I would have had to some way try to let go of that hand loop, jump off of it, and try to land safe as I could. Had something gone wrong. But we had that amazing driver, and he's not gonna put me in danger like that. Like, I trust him. So yeah, it was all a great experience. I wasn't worried, not one single bit.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a big part of being a stuntman is that trust of like the wires, the driver, whoever, the people around you, the different pieces in place are going to do their part, and you do your part and you'll be fine.
Definitely.
So that was a really cool commercial. When that came out, I was very surprised to see it. And I was like, oh, look at Taylor Rooks getting into some TV time. And then I was like, who's this other person?
Right.
And so, again, we're having this conversation through a door that opened, through another door that opened. It's just the amazing way that the career path works, of like, with each step, you meet people along the way and you get different opportunities along the way. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I was so grateful when you reached out. I was like, yes, let's do it.
I was grateful that you wanted to be on. I was like, yes. Yeah. So there you go. But this has been such a pleasure of just having the chance to talk to you about some of your roles and experiences that you've had. And I know even to be able to share some advice with others that may be interested in any career path, especially one around acting and being a dancer, actor, stuntman. So for you, any last things that you want to share, as well as what do you want to promote with people that are tuned in to be able to share about yourself?
I know. I mean, don't be afraid to reach out. You know, you can reach me on Instagram at Khalil Lamar. Caught me off guard with it. No, but yeah, I mean, you know, I really love what I do. I appreciate you guys, all the people that support me, or everyone that tuned in. I appreciate you, Renee Washington, for reaching out. You know, this is amazing. Like, I'm humbled by it. You know, and it's like a wow factor to me because, like I said, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, and I'm still taking all this in. Like this interview, me to even be on your show is amazing to me. And so I just want to thank you for that. And yeah, man, you know, my kids, Javion, Soraya, Mariana, I love you guys. Mom, dad, stepdad, everybody. I love you guys, you know. Yeah, it's amazing. And like I said, thank you guys for supporting me. Just know God has your back. God has our back. There's things out here for everyone. So please stick together, no egos. And just really go for what you want. Success comes to those who go get it. Not forget to wait. Go get it.
Now, for somebody that didn't know what to say, that was beautiful. Very nicely done. That was amazing and definitely very inspiring. I love it. You've got your family supporting you. You know, this is what it's all about. You know, you have the ability to change the generations in your family and break barriers and open new doors and opportunities. And as you even mentioned with your kids, you know, that are involved in so many different things, from modeling to soccer to taekwondo, I think you said, to dance, to be able to show them what's possible, you know, when you have the right mentality and are working hard to go after what you want. So I appreciate you for not only joining the show, but to continuously walk the walk, talk the talk each and every day to inspire others. Because as you talk about, there are many people you're looking up to. I'm sure there are many that are looking up to you as well. So it's great to see that you're doing things in faith, the right way, with integrity, and continuing to trailblaze for those that are following in your footsteps. So thank you, Khalil, for taking time to join us, bringing some positivity, some inspiration, and sharing about your experience.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Of course. And for everybody that is tuning in, that is our great guest. I told you he'd be awesome. Our great guest, Khalil Lamar. Be sure to give him a follow on Instagram at Khalil Lamar. You can actually check out his work. He's very easy to Google. So if you want to look up some more things that he has done, you can definitely do so online. And for everybody tuned in, be sure to hit that subscribe button. You can keep up with the show each and every week. We're bringing you new content across social media platforms with live episodes. And you can also watch our episodes each and every week across YouTube and listen across podcast platforms. So from me, your host, Renee Washington, and our great guest, Khalil Lamar, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week. Continue to go after whatever it is you're interested in pursuing. And I'll see you next time here on Beyond the Headlines for more interviews, stories, and updates each and every week. Have a good one, guys.
Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines.